Let's see. What other Hugh Jackman? I think he hosted Raw once, didn't he?
Oh yeah, that would be great. That would be great.
Hey, by the
I
way,
don't,
Hugh Jackman.
yeah, Hugh Jackman. That's my answer. Well, who else hosted Raw? Kevin Federline. Don't put him in there.
Oh Jesus.
Jesus.
Bob Barker.
I mean, we've Barker's in though, isn't he?
Oh, probably.
Is he? Huh.
I'm not sure. I mean, we went through the list of like who's who, like from the big names. So Trump is in, Mr. T, Drew Carey, Pete Rose. Pete Rose
has been in for a while. Like
Pete
when
Rose
they
is
opened the Hall of Fame, it's like Pete Rose
right.
was the
He's
first
one of
one
the
in.
ones.
There's one Hall of Fame he's actually will be eligible for.
Oh. That's
All
a whole
right.
nother podcast discussion
Yeah,
right there.
It sure is.
Jeff, you came in just as we were ending wrestling talk,
Yep.
but let's go back. Let's go back so we can give you some just real quick hits. Real
Sure,
quick hits.
yes.
All right.
You can
Hey,
do that.
live from Nerd Bacon HQ in Des Moines. Here's 11. Okay.
Not that far back. Not
Crap,
that far
sorry.
back.
Sorry.
All right. Here we go. Quick hits on the subject of professional wrestling. What are your
Yep.
thoughts on Fastlane?
Don't care.
You don't care. All
You know,
right.
it's okay. AJ's gonna win. Period. The
Yes.
end. Move on.
I
think it's
basically
dumb.
Justin and I our consensus was everything is playing out as you foresaw during the last week's episode of the Level Up Lariat podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, the John Cena inserting himself into the
Yep.
making a 6-pack challenge. He'll lose because Kevin and Sammy will go at it. Dolph and Baron will go at it.
Yep.
AJ and Cena will go kind of renew their rivalry. Cena will lose. AJ was on his face Shinsuke, and
Yep.
Cena has a crisis of conscience.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
There you go.
I like it.
All right. So there's that quick hit. Next quick hit. Rousey and Angle versus Trips and Stephanie at Mania. Are you feeling this? Is it giving
Do
you the
not
goose
want.
pimples?
No,
Over
do-
3.
Do
Over
not
3.
want. Do not want. Don't care.
Yeah.
None of us like
Just
this one.
Ronda Rousey again. Last night on Raw, she cannot talk.
I'm
Yeah, she's
still
awkward.
okay. I'm still okay with it. I'm
Which
still
is
okay
weird
with her
with
not.
all of her UFC promos, UFC interviews that she would do. She seemed fine, but she can't
Sure.
hold a microphone properly. She can't act with a crap. I mean, she could kick all of our ass at the same time. That's
It's-
not, you know.
Yeah. No
She's
denying that she
probably-
can whoop us all.
She's probably getting too much direction from the writing team. They just
Probably.
need to take their hands
Oh,
off and just
sure.
be like, "Hey, say what's in your heart." I think if
And
she
she
does
smi-
that,
She's got the Finn Balor syndrome. She smiled too damn much.
Jesus, I wish he would stop. I love
She's
Finn
doing
Balor
it too. She
so
comes out and
much.
she's cheesing it. You're supposed to be angry.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I like Finn smiling though.
I
like-
don't. He's supposed to have a demon living inside of him. Stop smiling.
That demon's not even coming
You're
to
gonna
WrestleMania.
feel
That demon's
hot and
gone.
sweaty most of the time.
No, he's smiling because he knows that even if the demon takes over, it's kind of okay.
Everything's okay, man.
Still okay.
All right. The IC title match at WrestleMania, the triple threat match between Seth Rollins, The Miz, and Finn Balor.
Announced
Very
last night?
excited about this. Very excited about this.
Yeah.
The Miz has had a career year, Rolling Stone Wrestler of the Year.
Yep.
Love The Miz and his work recently.
Excellent.
Seth Rollins put him in a prime spot. Finn Balor put him in a prime spot. They can renew their SummerSlam Universal title rivalry that was cut short. So I'm loving this.
And again, before you came back on, Justin and mine consensus was this has the potential to be the show stealer at WrestleMania, but
Yep.
what about Braun?
Oh, yeah, what's he
What
going to do
about
besides win the
Braun?
Andre the Giant?
Why
Oh, don't
can't
do
you
that.
find a match for him?
Are they going to do Braun Elias?
I don't
That's what I said.
think that makes sense.
No, it doesn't. I love both those guys.
Well, they're
Still.
feuding now, and so it makes sense in the fact that that's just what's going on, but it doesn't make sense in like, what are you doing with Braun? Or in that matter, what are you doing with Elias?
I wish Braun had better merch. Braun has Shield syndrome, where there's no good Braun Strowman shirt out there. I'm like, man.
That's too bad.
But even if I wore that, it wouldn't look good. Like, monster
like-
among men, me.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is the one that has his face on it that says Monster Among Men is okay, but the last one I was really hopeful for when it said get these hands, because I really like when he's like,
Yeah.
especially when he debuted that saying, he's like, I'm not leaving yet. because everybody's going to get these hands. And I'm like,
great.
that's going to be a badass T-shirt. And then it's just a block lettering on a black T-shirt.
You. God dang it! Is there
It's
any
white and
good?
black.
Is there
White
any
and
good
black.
broken Matt stuff yet?
You got a cool
I think so.
Dreamcast looking logo one where it's got his face and it says delete all around it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'll have to take.
you can look that one up.
I may still have to get that Four Horsemen shirt because it's still like 31. I'm like, oh, that's $31. Yikes! But it's the Four Horsemen.
Also, Jeff, just real quick, Dave did say if Cena does not face the Undertaker, which we'll talk about, that'll probably be the next quick hit. So a good segue. If Cena doesn't face the Undertaker, what if Braun and Cena is the match?
As long as Braun wins.
Yeah, put him over.
That Cena Elias feud never went anywhere.
Imagine that.
Yeah, because Elias laid him out. Like Elias hit him honky tonk style, guitar explosion and all.
Yeah.
And there was no comeback from that. So well, did that just die? Or
I kind of sort of want Braun to use the big old bass and knock out somebody with it.
But do you see Cena losing at Mania though? Like, no matter who he faces after all this, I can't make it. I can't make it.
I do.
You see him losing at Mania?
Yeah. I mean, it continues that. I think it continues that poor me, because it gives him something else to freaking do besides
win all the time.
Because win all the time. Like you get a different version of Cena we've never gotten before. Hopefully leading to a damn heel turn. Never going to happen.
Here's my quick question: is this Cena's last Mania?
No.
Oh no.
Okay.
No.
It's Taker's last Mania.
Again.
All right.
The third time.
Next quick hit. Matt Hardy invites Bray Wyatt to the Hardy compound at WrestleMania.
Finally, I think this is. I think the feud was pushed because of Jeff's injury, and I feel like if they would have waited for this, then this would have been the eventual. It would have got here either way.
Sure.
This was the plan, I think, all along. But I think they had to pull the string on this feud too early because of Jeff's injury. I'm excited for this because now you have the WWE money behind it, and Jeremy Borash is in NXT, from what I remember hearing. He works for NXT at this point. So, and he's the one that helped make the Found Deletion, and that's on the production side. So if you pick his brain a bit and you put the WWE money behind it, this could be awesome, but it also could be a House of Horrors. So hopefully it's at Mania, so they had to be putting all their eggs in this basket. So
I got high hopes for this. I think it's.
Is this where we finally see a proper Sister Abigail?
Ooh, that would be sweet.
That's a good question.
That would be sweet.
And this we finally do we see broken Brother Nero? Do we see Senior Benjamin? Do we see Vanguard 1? Do they go all out here?
He actually introduced everybody via Twitter just today. He introduced Queen Rebecca and Maxwell and Senior Benjamin and Skarsgård and Vanguard 1. So it's all out there now.
Except for Brother Nero. That's the only one he didn't introduce.
Okay.
It's happening.
Well, my only concern is that if they let's use a sophomoric term, shoot their wad here, they have to have something to build off of to do a next one. They can't just say here's everything and then just that be it. They have to not do everything at once.
Right, and then we also said where do they go from here? For either of these guys.
Right.
All right, last wrestling related thing on the rehash part. For Jeff Ross' introduction into the podcast.
Run in.
It is a run-in, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Rumors are swirling that Vincent Kennedy McMahon is meeting with the one and only Alberto Del Rio, and that Alberto may be on his way back into the company. What are your thoughts?
Give him the right. Give him his moment. I like Del Rio. I like what he's done. I like the whole El Patron stuff. I'm worried about his bad boy side, how he might be a toxic in the locker room, let's say. I dug the whole League of Nations stuff they had going on with Sheamus, and I dug it, dude. It was really cool.
It was
because it gave them
not.
something to do. It gave them something to do.
And it
Because
came across
Rusev-
that way on television. It came across as they have nothing for them now, so we're just gonna do this until.
No, Rusev was floundering. Bad News Brown. Bad News Barrett was floundering, and Sheamus was kind of in there too. But this put them together, and then it made them relevant. So I kind of dug it. And I like Del Rio's swag, and I like him as a character as long as he keeps his act together.
Where is Bad News Barrett now?
He is the commissioner of WCPW, What Culture Pro Wrestling.
Oh, okay.
Actually, they're now called Defiant. So it was What Culture, because then they broke off and made Cultaholic. But now What Culture is now Defiant Wrestling, which is sort of like an indie, like Ring of Honor thing in the UK, and he is the commissioner of that.
And I thought they just put out YouTube videos.
What Culture?
Yeah. top 10 elbows in gaming.
I like watching their stuff. It's different now
good,
that the main guys left to make Cultaholic, but then they're both good stuff. So
yeah. All right, so that's it for pro wrestling. There's absolutely nothing happening in pro wrestling besides what we just talked about.
Hillbilly Jim, Hall of Fame.
Hillbilly Jim, yes.
That was the last thing we were talking about.
I felt bad. I'm like, is he dead? I felt bad.
Well, I mean,
the first thing I thought was, is he dead?
I just hope we get Hillbilly Jim merch.
Yeah, okay. I like Hillbilly Jim. I thought that's a good nod. I was surprised he wasn't in already. So
yeah,
me too.
I was actually surprised. I was surprised.
Yep.
As long as it's taken, it took to get Macho Man in. I guess it makes sense.
Yep.
Well, I think Macho Man was for entirely different reasons.
I know.
They forgot about Hillbilly Jim. They wanted to forget about Macho Man.
Yeah, and to hear all the podcasts.
Yeah, about Macho Man.
To hear all the podcasts surrounding that, it's like the thing with him and Steph never took place from what I was hearing on the podcast. Again, I wasn't there. I don't know. But the whole Macho Man Stephanie McMahon thing, according to all the podcast people who were there, saying that's not a thing. But that could be Vince hiding this thing very well. Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll never know. We will
go away, Vince.
The way that they treated him makes it feel like it was a thing.
It was something pretty big. Because everyone got welcome back except Randy Savage. I don't know if it was the video of him cutting a shoot promo on H and Stephanie when he was in the gym, or was it because of the Be a Man Hogan CD release? Who knows?
Oh, well.
I miss that guy, man.
Fellas, before we get on to gaming, we've been doing this now for a year. Our first podcast was not called the Level Up Larry podcast back then because we threw it together, totally like we're doing right now. But our first podcast was March 1st, 2017. So we reached a milestone.
That's
we
right.
did it.
Yay. I put it on the agenda. I put it under the gaming side because I was like, did we talk about wrestling when we first started? I don't remember.
Well, I was going to hold off talking about it because I didn't know if Jeff Roth would be joining us. So I think next week should be our 1-year anniversary spectacular.
Yeah, we should do something fancy.
We'll talk about that.
And we'll discuss it like the day before, probably.
Knowing us.
We'll get that message. Oh, shit, guys.
There's a thing happening.
God. Oh, God.
All right. Here we go. Let's talk about video gaming. Sonic the Hedgehog portends that it's time to talk about video games.
All right.
Hot off the presses for today, Marcus Sellers, who is a presence on Twitter, and he's been kind of gaining some notoriety by dropping some pretty big leaks. He was the one out there saying that Diablo 3 was going to come to Switch. And now it's looking like it really is. It's not confirmed yet, but Eurogamer has picked up on the story and has said, yeah, this is actually happening.
Right.
I'd play the shit out of that, by the way.
It's going to happen.
I'd play the shit out of that.
I played Diablo 3 quite a bit on the Xbox. So, on the go,
he also 3? Was the one that leaked that the new Call of Duty is going to be Black Ops 4. So he's been leaking. He's been kind of taking the mantle over as the new Emily Rogers. He also put out that Grand Theft Auto 5 would be coming to Switch because they need to get to that 100 million sold plateau somehow.
Sure. Yeah.
And they're pretty close. They've sold 70 million units of Grand Theft Auto 5.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
What if they don't release Grand Theft Auto 6 until they hit 100?
I don't think they're going to release it until there was a new rumor that I saw early this morning on that, but we'll get to that in a second. But anyway, the point is Marcus Sellers dropped two big rumors on Twitter this afternoon. The first one is that there is going to be a Nintendo Direct this Thursday, as in the day after tomorrow.
Yes.
Wow.
Nothing has been released.
Calm down, Justin.
Justin's going mania mode. It's Justin mania.
That was a good Ben Stein. That's
It's
a good
running
Ben.
wild.
It's a good Ben Stein impression. Wow.
I need some theme music for Justin going wild. That's amazing. Anyway, there's no details on what the hell this Nintendo Direct might be, and Nintendo has not put anything out yet. Considering how Nintendo shadow dropped the last Direct back in January, who knows if we're going to get any advance warning. But gentlemen, what do you think? Do you think we could have a Nintendo Direct as soon as this Thursday? And if so, what possible subjects could Nintendo be covering in March?
Well, they'll touch on Kirby Star Allies, which is coming out in just about a week or so, right? It comes out very soon.
Yep.
I don't think this will be a Smash thing.
No.
Because there'll be some build-up for a Smash, so we'll get that out of the way now. It's not going to be a Smash thing.
That does not mean we have beef with Smash.
Right.
We don't have beef with Smash.
God damn it, YouTube. Just cut us some slack. We love Smash. We cannot wait for that Smash Direct.
And I don't feel like it'd be another like a mini thing, because they had that back in January.
Right.
So they can't really do that again. Like, we have more things that we're porting over from the Wii U. Okay, kind of going like to a dream realm.
Oh.
Some sort of
wherever you want to go with it.
Some sort of Mario Maker style game.
Interesting.
Okay.
If they do some sort of like a Mario Maker port that over, or do what I really want to have happen, like my dream game being a Zelda Maker, but that'd be hard because you only do it in like the 8-bit or 16-bit style. So 8-bit original or Link to the Past. I would love that, and I think the Switch is handmade for those style of games.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that would be sweet. And I think that's a Zelda Maker is on a lot of people's wish lists. I think that would be a really hard game to put together at an easy enough to use level for the mainstream consumer, though. Mario Maker, it's a different beast altogether than a Zelda game. But who wouldn't want to be have a do it yourself, put it together yourself Zelda Maker? I'm stumbling all over my words. That's how excited I am about this.
I would lose my shit. I would go Bayonetta 3. Like if Dave's reaction to Bayonetta 3 and Metroid Prime 4, I would do for like a Zelda Maker. But like what could possibly get announced in March?
Level up, Justin, while Jeff Roth is pontificating about that, mentally working that out through his biological computer.
It hurts.
What are your thoughts?
Well, I agree with you both that it's not going to be a Smash announcement. I don't think. I think this would be one of those. I do think we get something, just because last time it was.
I do think we get something. I mean, they're having a damn Direct after all.
Something will happen, right?
Sorry.
Well, and the thing is the reason I say that is because we're at that point like we were in January where we're 48 hours away from a day that there supposedly is going to be a Direct, and we've heard nothing up until today. Or until like the last couple of days or whatever. So now all of a sudden we could get another shadow dropped like, oh, hey, by the way, boom, here's a Direct. It's 11 a.m. or, and in our case, I think we all sent it out at like 7:38, 8 o'clock in the morning. And oh, by the way, here's a Direct. I think it could be like maybe like a retrospect / year, year in like looking at the year ahead kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
So because again, another segue that we'll kind of go into in a second. Well, I won't go too far into it, but it's been a year since the Switch has been out.
Yep.
So
as of this Saturday.
That's nuts, by the way. That is fucking insane.
That year
That's already
went
been
by
a year.
so quickly, dude.
And so it's been a year that it's been out, and I would like Reggie just to come on screen and just go, "I told you so," and then just walk.
That'd be great.
I'd like him just to come out and say, "Hey, we just want to." The response to the Nintendo Switch has been incredible. Right. We are overwhelmed. Not just at a professional level and at a business level, but at a personal level. We're overwhelmed with the support that you've given to us. We just want to say thanks.
Well,
and here's some games.
So
Luigi's Mansion port to Switch.
Yes.
I would lose my shit.
I would lose my shit.
Like the GameCube one or the 3DS one, because they both are really good.
I like the 3DS one a lot.
Give us both. But
yeah, I mean, combine them into one, sure.
At this point, I do think we get some sort of direct. I don't. It will not be a Smash Bros. Direct or anything like that. I do think they touch on was it Kirby Star Allies? That's the one that's coming out.
Yep.
And then it's more of a look in the year retrospect, but here's what's coming going forward for year 2. And then maybe there's some sort of like stealth, like, hey, by the way, we've got these games coming out. And maybe we do. I could see him doing something like, oh, hey, by the way, we do have Mario Maker. It's coming, and maybe they kind of touch base on it, or, and again, talking about what they're going to have in year 2 of the Switch. So,
I don't know if I would expect them to do a year retrospect. I think that would be really cool if they did.
Right.
My immediate thought when I first heard this rumor was, okay, they'll probably talk about Labo, because Labo is going to be out in about 1 month, April 20th.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I was actually going to ask that too, is when does that come out? And then you just obviously saying that, like, that would make perfect sense.
I keep forgetting about that, and then I see like on the news on my Switch, Labo, like, oh shit, right, that thing that I'm not going to buy.
So yeah, they'll probably want to showcase that a little bit, and then maybe do something like I said about Kirby, and I'm surprised
that's
we
the
don't
16th, by the way. Is Kirby starts the 16th.
I'm surprised we don't have a date for Yoshi yet, so I'm not expecting any bombshells on this one. But who knows?
Again, they would be, they could just come out and say Metroid Prime 4 is tomorrow. No, it's not going to be that. But it's
but Nintendo could do it.
But they could, something of that caliber. They could say, hey, Metroid Prime 4 is coming out. And we'll put a release date on it. Here's some gameplay footage. And by the way, you play as Metroid's brother. Like, you play as Samus's brother. And they're not going to do that. But
this, I want to come back to Nintendo because, who doesn't love Nintendo? Nintendo's awesome. But I want to come back to them and talk about third-party ports that we might see on the Switch.
Okay.
But I want to get real quick to the second rumor that Marcus Sellers dropped just today, and that is that PS5 development kits have gone out earlier this year to developers, to a few select developers. So, gentlemen, what do you think? Are you ready in your hearts? This is the 5th anniversary of PlayStation 4 coming out. It was 2013 it came out. So we got the 5th anniversary of PS4 and Xbox One. In your hearts, is it time? Are you ready to start thinking about the next gen at this point? Does it feel like it's been 5 years already?
I don't think this is a sign that it's coming soon. I think this is a sign that, hey, let's get this stuff that we're prototyping out there in their hands so that when we do launch this in 4, 5, 6 years down the road, we're out of the gate fast.
Oh, I think you're being funny. Not 4 or 5 years, dude. It's going to be next year, maybe 2020 at the latest.
Oh, man.
I think that's too soon. I mean, you're probably right, but I think that's too soon.
Yeah.
At this point, I don't want to think about it, and partially because, like, it doesn't feel like it's been 5 years. I mean, granted, it has been, and we can look at the facts. It's there, but it doesn't feel like it. There's been a lot of good stuff there. I feel like it's got a lot of life left in it. I don't feel like it's slowing down or anything. But like you said, I think part of it's probably, like you said, just getting it out there, letting people get their hands on it, check it out, see what this is going to be all about, see what kind of new tech they're working with, and maybe start getting some stuff in development or towards that future. I kind of agree. I'm thinking 2 years. I'm thinking 2 years.
You think 2020?
I think so.
I think that's probably the earliest that they could even be mentioning the words PlayStation 5. Because they just asked us to buy a PS4 Pro. And yes, Sony will be the first ones to come out of the gate saying, here is the next system. Because Microsoft's in their way with the Xbox One family, and Nintendo has the Switch that they're riding high on. So Sony will be the first one to come out with the new generation.
Yes.
I think Microsoft will. I think they want to get the jump. Yeah.
As a consumer, I would not appreciate that. Again, because they just asked us, hey, if you want the best thing out there, the best thing possible, Xbox One X is the best, and then to come out in 2 years and say we were just full of shit. Here's the real best.
Here's the real best.
We're gonna pave the way and make the best
But
thing.
Microsoft kind of has that history of really bad messaging, and not really looking that far ahead, just kind of going with the moment.
With Phil Spencer, I think
there's times that are changing. Yeah. I think times are changing.
I hope so.
In Microsoft land, I think, and again, I think it's in Phil we trust. That's the only thing. I think it's just they know what's right. And at this point, or this point in time, there was even talk of not necessarily of like modular consoles, like a PC, but they were talking about that like going into the Xbox One X, and obviously they didn't go with that. But there's, like Jeff said, both of them just said, hey, here's an Xbox One X and here's a PS4 Pro. If you want the best Sony experience, if you want the best Xbox experience, this is where you need to go. So to ask us to buy these so soon and then say, oh, by the way, just kidding, here's a PS5 or here's an Xbox One 2, one squared, I don't know. And then
Xbox all.
Yeah, Xbox Infinity, whatever. But yeah, it would be kind of weird, I think. But I'm with Jeff on this one. I think Sony's the first one that jumps. I think at this point, Sony's the first one that jumps.
Well,
they kind of have to at this point. But go on.
I don't know. I feel like Sony doesn't actually, because they're the ones that have the 2-to-1 lead.
Well, right
over Microsoft.
They don't have to do anything.
They don't
really
have to.
Here's why I say they do, and it's because of how 2017 ended, or at least how it's currently trailing. Microsoft is getting momentum. They're getting out there. Nintendo has all the momentum right now. Nintendo's is kicking ass.
Yeah.
And Microsoft's saying the right things. They're getting the consoles out there. They're making their systems more inclusive to, being the one true entertainment system. And Sony is being more heavily touted as a gaming platform.
Sure.
So I think they need to get momentum back in their corner, because they were. I'm not saying they're losing the war.
No.
I'm saying they need to get the ball rolling again, because it's been a while since PS4 Pro came out. It's been a while. I mean, PSVR is kind of, let's say, floundering a little bit.
Lurking in the water.
It's not killing them, but it's certainly not doing as well as they thought it would. So I think they need to get the ball rolling again on something new. I think they need to be the first ones out there saying, this is us. We're still here. We still are believing our fans. Let's go. Get back on the train. Let's ride. So
I think Sony does that just through the sheer quantity and quality of games right now. If I'm Microsoft, I'm less worried about Sony, and I'm more worried about Nintendo claiming the number 2 spot.
Sure.
Because, like I said, they do have all the momentum with the Switch, and that Switch train doesn't seem like it's going to slow down. And if the estimates are true, that there's only 35 million or so Xbox One consoles out there that have been sold, then Nintendo's going to catch up to them pretty quick, because they already blew past 12 million in less than a year. So I would estimate them maybe about 15 million at this point, 1 year in.
Right. Well,
and they want to sell that many in year 2, or maybe 30 million in year 2.
And I think if we look back at the sales, like you said, obviously Nintendo's leading the way. I think Xbox did have a few months there where they were second in the pack, and again, we're not sitting here talking like any of these are sitting on the curb asking for handouts. They're all selling really well.
Yeah.
So none of them are hurting in any way, shape, or form. At this point, it's just which what could be better, or what one and that's always going to be that way. And with Microsoft, they got a lot of momentum with the Xbox One X, like the fastest Xbox, as far as pre-orders and sales right out the gate. It was selling way better than the PS4 Pro, selling really well at the tail end of last year. And I don't know what the sales are exactly at this point with that, but if you think about it, at this point, Xbox has, again, they've shifted from being that all-in-one Don Matrick or whatever's, the view of the all-in-one console to, again, trying to get back on with the core, the gamers. And I don't know, again, this is why E3 is going to be so important for Microsoft, because we'll see what they're going to have in store, because this could be a make or break year for the Xbox One X, and that may change our opinion on what's launched next as well.
Sure. Whatever happens, we're not going to have a clear indication of what Microsoft is, what their plans might be until after E3 this year. But the point is that next gen is in development right now. And when you consider that it does take about 18 to 24 months to get a game from concept into production and get it out there, I think this rumor is true. I think those PS5 development kits are out there.
Oh, I believe that 100%.
Yeah.
I believe that Sony's giving their prototype units to their developers and saying, get your hands on this stuff that we're working on, and let us know what you think, so we can make the perfect console and make your games off this. Go nuts. So it's out there. Yeah,
I agree. I think the rumor is true as well.
My wallet's not happy, but
especially if that sales tax increase passes tonight.
I'm betting it will.
I hope it doesn't. I don't. The sales tax. I'm with those who espouse that a sales tax increase is disproportionately unfair to lower income people, because they still have to buy goods, and they still have to shoulder that higher tax increase. So that's
a whole different podcast.
That is a whole podcast.
A whole different group of pissed off people.
Level Up Podcast Politics, brought to you by Nerdbait.
Anywho, let's move on. Another rumor dropped today. I think from folks over at CD Projekt Red out of Poland.
This makes me so happy.
What would it be like if Geralt from the Witcher series appeared in another video game?
So I'm going to try and pull up the tweet here that was sent by the bigwigs at CD Projekt Red. But the gist is that they want to put Geralt from The Witcher in a upcoming game. And there are two games that people are associating this with. They're saying, well, it might be Smash Brothers, which would be really cool.
I don't think that's no.
But the more likely scenario, the one that I want to have happen, is Soul Calibur 6, which makes all the sense in the world.
Yes.
I have the article pulled up. I'm just going to get the actual tweet here and do it justice here. From Marcin Momot, who is at CD Projekt Red. It's community lead, Marcin Momot.
Okay.
I'm butchering that, I'm sure. She said, what if Geralt was going to step out of the Witcher game series for the very first time and make an appearance in one of the upcoming games later this year? Which is why I don't think it's Smash. And that makes no sense anyway. It'd be cool, but it's not Smash. Upcoming games later this year. It makes all the sense in the world that it's Soul Calibur 6, and that makes Jeff a very, very happy person.
Yeah, I would be shocked at this point if he was not in Soul Calibur. Think about the Soul Calibur 5 had Ezio from Assassin's Creed, so it seems like a really natural fit for the Soul Calibur series. So that's gonna be cool. It's cool to see crossovers like that.
The only other game I came to mind when you first said this would have been their next release, but that's not coming later this year, as far as we know.
What is their next release?
This Cyberpunk.
Oh yeah.
That's rumored to have a big presence at E3 finally this year.
Right.
So
Now
we got to go to E3, guys.
Now I agree. Now here's the next question, though.
It is
right. So if a Smash Brothers, which was leaked, rumored, which we talked about last week, is going to come later this year and it's going to be updated. I'm not saying that he would appear in there, but if it is going to come this year, I mean, the only why would you not see him in Smash Brothers?
Because I think the people who would play Soul Calibur will know Geralt more than Nintendo fans.
Sure. Because
Geralt's never been in a Nintendo game. As far as I don't think Witcher ever came to a Nintendo product.
Oh, I don't think so.
So I think the audience is more in the Venn diagram of Soul Calibur than there are of Smash Brothers. So that's what makes more sense.
Right. Nintendo would not allow that crossover simply because Witcher has tits. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point.
The first scene in Witcher 3.
Tits.
He's naked, she's naked.
Yeah.
Boobs.
Yep. Yeah. Not gonna cross over that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Smash fans.
The same day that Kratos will go is when.
Yeah. Great. Oh boy.
Yeah.
I forgot how detailed those games get with some of that, especially the sex mini games. Yeah. Until I played God of War 3 remastered.
That's a bit Witcher. You have sex on a horse in Witcher. Okay, that's just how that whole thing works.
I have had Witcher for like 2 years and haven't played it, and you can have sex on a horse. What?
Yes, you can.
Goodness.
That game is fantastic. The Witcher 3 is fantastic. The whole series is fantastic. So.
Anyway.
Okay.
I bought some. I have some actual physical Gwent cards.
Oh.
Just because I'm a nerd. So.
One other thing that was announced this week that is potentially cool, it's definitely interesting, Microsoft is going to start having monthly online video presentations called Inside Xbox, and I think that's going to debut this month sometime, or maybe next month if I'm not mistaken. And these are supposed to be kind of along the lines of Nintendo Directs. Maybe not quite as game announcement heavy, but it is a way. It's Microsoft's answer to the Nintendo Direct.
Sure.
I thought they used to do these back in the day, back in the Xbox 360 days. I thought they used to do something like this, the Xbox Insider and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
Major Nelson was more kind of upfront, actually more regularly in front of the cameras. But I think this is great. I think this is Microsoft's way of saying, hey, let's be a little more transparent here. Let people know what's going on. We've made a lot of big promises. Let's check in every month and show people, hey, this is why you should be trusting us and believing in us and helping us gain momentum that we had lost in this console generation. So I really, this is a good step for Microsoft.
Yeah,
I think he was doing something on. And I don't know if it's monthly or if it was how often it was, because I used to listen to his podcast. I've gotten away from it over the last couple months, but on your dashboard every now and again, you'll see Major Nelson and he'll just be pointing at you or whatever. And then that
like, what did I do?
Yeah, you click that. Yeah, or he's doing that pose.
I have Forza.
He says I have Forza. Yeah. And then you click that and it's like, this is Xbox Insider or whatever it's called, But
right.
Yeah, I actually am cool with this. Like if like you said, let us know. It also it'll help because they'll probably talk about what's going to be new on Games Pass, because Games Pass or Game Pass, whatever it is with the S or not, but Game Pass does have a tendency to fluctuate a tiny bit every month, kind of like Netflix. They'll get rid of some stuff, bring other stuff in, right. And then talk about, like you said, what's happening, why you should have an Xbox, what's the newest things. So I'm okay with this.
Yeah, anytime you can put a face in front of a corporation and have somebody engage with their audience, maybe not directly, but as directly as they can,
sure.
like they're doing with Nintendo Directs and now with this Inside Xbox thing, that only helps you create an affinity for that brand. So good move. I'm surprised that Sony or Microsoft hadn't jumped on this sooner, considering how effective Nintendo Directs have been for the past. It's been 5 years? Wasn't it E3 2012 that they finally said, sorry, we're not going to do E3. No, maybe 2013.
13, but you're in that time frame.
Yeah. The only weird thing too is you look at Sony. When I say PlayStation, who's the first face that come to mind?
Crash Bandicoot.
No, who's Sean, right?
Yeah.
And when I say Nintendo,
it was Andrew House for the longest time. To be fair,
right.
It was Andrew House for the longest time.
Right. So Sean's the guy who comes to mind now, though. And then when I say Nintendo, who comes to mind?
It's Reggie.
Okay, Microsoft.
Major Nelson.
Over Phil Spencer.
Just because I saw a lot of Major Nelson in the 360 days, but yeah.
Right, but so should it be Phil? If we're supposed to trust Phil.
He's doing more of that too.
He's playing devil's
definitely
advocate here.
Putting his face out there in front of for all the E3 stuff and all the conferences. It's always Spencer's. So yes.
I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
If Microsoft's conference is another lackluster dud, I'm going to start the hashtag FirePhil. Sorry. Sorry. I mean, I think
I will not support. You can do that. I will not support you.
okie dokie.
Whoa!
All right.
I want to get a beer with that man.
That's
Wow.
fine. He'll have plenty of time in retirement. But that's not going to happen. You know why? Because Microsoft is going to have a kick-ass E3.
agree.
Bank on it.
Too.
Bank
I
on
would
it.
call it
I
too.
cannot
Yeah.
wait. They will have a great E3.
What's
But
this?
that-
Dave talking positive about Microsoft?
It's shocking.
I don't like talking smack against Microsoft. I want companies to succeed. You know why?
too.
Because if Microsoft isn't there, Nintendo's kind of doing their own track. They don't care about
Right.
competing with Sony and Sony's playground. So the only people that are there to compete against Sony are Microsoft. So
Exactly.
I want Microsoft to do as well as they can possibly do, and I want them to survive and thrive because competition is a good thing. Look at
agree.
what happened to your WWE product the moment WCW went out of business.
Yep.
Yup.
Yep.
Competition, brothers, competition.
Right.
And it's still not getting better. The
why the
competition now-
XFL is gonna
competition
be
now
so
being
good.
the indies and actually pushing it. It's kind of nice that the
Yeah.
indies are pushing
Yeah,
the big guys.
Why
Anyway,
Vince is bringing the XFL back.
yeah,
that's true.
Big football.
But
finish.
that's good. That's good
Yeah.
for
Yes,
the
it is
NFL
good.
because that's
It is.
competition. And the NFL
Yep.
is so weak
Yep.
right now. They're so
Well, look
weak.
at. I mean, if you want to, again, we're talking about games. Put it in games, in a games term, for those who play Madden. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is your competition for Madden? There isn't competition, and because there's no college game due to the lawsuit and all that, you don't have that. Now, again, you can kind of say the same thing with like a baseball, but you still have RBA baseball. Again, completely
That's
different
completely-
spectrum.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
I would still-
completely different spectrum.
As much as we may not like EA, I would love MVP baseball to come back.
me too.
Just to
Yeah.
give
No,
some
me too.
competition.
Yeah.
I even like their college baseball game. Now, again, they won't do college. I get it.
Yeah,
You know, but bring back MVP or call it triple play like they used to. I mean, or whatever they want to. I really like that series. That's the series I played growing up. And then, you know, just evolved from there. The competition is good.
Moving on, one other thing happening. Apparently, members from the Entertainment Software Association, that's the overall, like the lobbying group that goes to Washington, they also
Okay.
put on E3. Apparently, they are meeting with President Trump sometime this week. I want to say that that's happening Thursday. He wanted to talk with them about violence in video games.
Okay.
I don't want to get, too political or anything, but my message to them would be, obviously gaming is much more liberal, and anybody who follows people on Twitter knows how they feel about Trump. I would say
Sure.
my message to those developers, put that aside, put those personal feelings aside. Don't be condescending, and let's use this as a big opportunity to push our art form forward.
I agree.
Okay.
I think it's a huge
as
opportunity.
long as I agree with you, as long as he does the same.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah,
And
absolutely.
I think
Yeah.
if I here's my quick little thing, I don't know if he's capable of doing that. Here's the thing we all need to do: stop blaming video games for everything.
Right. Stop
yes.
blaming everything for everything. Sometimes
Right.
shitty stuff
If that's
just
the-
happens.
If that's the first sentence out of his mouth, and he starts blaming the gaming world for what's been going on, done.
Yeah,
Done.
I
He's
agree.
just wrong.
All you
And-
have to say is, Mr. President, there have been numerous studies out that show that there is really no correlation between video game violence and real world violence. All of those studies actually disprove that. And I noticed that there isn't the same call against the movie industry, who have far more realistic depictions of violence. And then
Sure.
you can go on and talk about how, electronic entertainment really is an art form. And then you can show off other games that push the medium forward as an art form. Say, I know that you're looking at Call of Duty and you're looking at Battlefield and all these games, and that's the image that you have. But let's take a look at this. Here's Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. This was pretty much unanimously voted as the best game of the year that came out in 2017. Except for Nerd Bacon, we chose Super Mario Odyssey, another amazing game. But show that game. Show artistic, poetic games like Inside. Show Owlboy.
Yeah.
Show the wide breadth. Introduce the President of the United States, regardless of what his name is or what party he represents. Show the President of the United States, who obviously this president does not play video games, and there's nothing wrong with that. He's just not of that generation. He's 71 years old. Show him what beauty and art there is in video games, and change his mind and turn him into a fan. He's got a young son. He's got Barron, who can probably tell him a thing or two about video games. I doubt that kid's not, uneducated when it comes to the subject of games. So I think it's a big opportunity. Don't go in combative. Use it as a teaching opportunity, and try and find a consensus, and try and work towards a partnership. Because that's a big thing. And
that's hard to do. But so as long as everybody on all sides go in open-minded and talking and listening, that's the other part. Is you can talk all you want, but you have to also listen.
Yes.
So as long as that happens, then okay. But we need to stop pointing fingers.
Yeah. Everyone.
I agree.
And the last thing that I want to see is some sort of government regulation or legislation or something like that come in.
Yeah, I mean, that like you
never
said,
helps anybody. That only ruins free expression.
Well, that and one of the big things you said is not every game is Call of Duty. Not every game is Battlefield. I can think of a handful of games, and you mentioned a couple of them off the top of your head. Super Mario Odyssey is beautiful. Legend of Zelda, another beautiful game. Horizon Zero Dawn, and I mean, look at Horizon Zero Dawn for example. I mean, that's like a very good example of what a video game can do as an art form, just like a movie can, and to show emotion and to have The Last of Us. Now, granted, The Last of Us maybe not as it's a little violent too, but still, I mean, you got to think like the movie industry is just as violent, if not more so. I mean, I would say more so because of the realism that they can depict, and there is a rating system for that. Now, granted, there's a rating system for video games. It's just like you said, I don't want anybody going in and the first thing out of their mouth is video games are to blame. Done. Because then it just,
exactly.
I mean, because like I said, I would just shut off at that point. I've seen a few different people posting things online where they're like, "Oh, my child would never play this game or do this," and I'm kind of like,
bullshit.
Do I even
Your
open
child
this can?
Secretly is.
Well, right, do I open this can of worms? Do I say something to this person? Because my argument is, I know people that have used video games to help them with depression. Soldiers that use it for PTSD. Other military are using video games now for hand-eye coordination and other things. I mean, you're seeing all sorts of different implementations, that are being done in the video game industry, and that's where the rating system comes in handy. Just if you're a parent and they want to buy Call of Duty and your kid's 12 and you haven't had that discussion with your child, son or daughter, to what's real, what's not, what to do, what not to do. Like, hey, I mean, my parents had that discussion with me at a young age. I've been playing games since I can remember, 3 years old. I don't even know.
Yeah.
And my parents had a discussion with me at a young age. Okay, there is violence in this game. You don't hit your sister. You don't do this. You don't do that. And I mean, not like you said, there is no conclusive evidence that has anything to do with it. You can watch a violent movie and do the same violent acts. So they've got to go in, like you said, open minds, listening, and have a legitimate discussion. Otherwise, it's going to go nowhere.
Yeah, I'll leave it with this. I don't feel good about it.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
We'll see.
If they need a good argument for something like the game Inside and how that's a work of art, may I suggest my article that I wrote on Nerd Bacon about Inside being a true work of art. Yep. It was a damn good article, if I say so myself. Anywho, we are coming up towards the end. I wanted to circle back real quick, and I just want some quick thoughts, because there are a lot of rumors going around that the Switch this year is going to get a lot of third-party support, a lot more third-party support than we've seen for Nintendo consoles in the past few generations.
Okay.
So we've heard names like Grand Theft Auto is being thrown around. Grand Theft Auto 5 is a game that's being thrown around as a possible contender for being on the Nintendo Switch. We've heard rumors of the new Call of Duty game is supposed to be on the Nintendo Switch, which the rumors on that one are that this one's going to go back to not Call of Duty, I'm sorry, Battlefield's going to go back to World War II. But anyway, the new Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is going to be on Nintendo Switch. So, gentlemen, what are some games that you think are possibilities, like strong possibilities? Name like 2 or 3 titles that are strong possibilities that you think we might see on the Nintendo Switch.
Here's one, PUBG.
PUBG.
Ooh.
I think that just makes so much sense with how popular that game is to have, and once it clears through Microsoft's exclusivity, I think they'll say, "Hey, Nintendo, you might want to get on this."
Yeah.
Well, we definitely know it's coming to PS4, and I think you've said that before that it would look good on Switch. So, I think I might see Fortnite on Switch before I saw PUBG, but.
Yeah,
I like
you
it
would
either
see
way.
both. You would see both probably.
I like it either way.
God, Fortnite's so popular. Jesus.
Yeah, it's blown up. It's the number one
big
game
time
on Twitch now.
I tweeted last night. I jumped into Fortnite for the first time since the launch day. I jumped into Fortnite. I was one of the first adopters of the Battle Royale mode in that game. I jumped in. I loved it. I mean, I got within like 3 games. I was second out of 99. I was having a blast. Right?
Wow.
Jumped in last night. I was like, what the hell? I don't even know what I'm doing. What are all these tabs? Costumes now? Last time I could just jump in and I just got randomly placed as a character. I have no idea what I'm doing. So, yeah, Fortnite's definitely blown up.
All right. Level Up Justin, what's a title that you think?
You actually mentioned one, Diablo 3. I think that's actually going to happen. And I mean, I know it's kind of like a homer one to say, but it makes so much sense. I mean, a game that you can take with you on the go, you can hook up to other consoles and play together. So if like we see each other in person, we could, system link or whatever. And I think that's definitely one that's going to happen. I do agree with that rumor.
All right. I will put out GameStop had a video that listed a Switch version of a game that has Final Fantasy 15.
Yep. I did see that.
Yeah. They were showing the Royal Edition, which is with all the DLC up to date.
Yep.
That's coming
and
out
on the very bottom.
Yep, PS4 and Xbox One, and then at the very bottom it says and Switch.
Yep.
And again, Marcus Sellers pointed it out and said, that's probably not a mistake. And GameStop was pretty accurate in leaking the fact that the Switch, before the Switch came out, was going to use cartridges, which we thought was unheard of. But
Right.
Anyway, so yeah, I'd say Final Fantasy 15 is a strong contender.
Which just came out on PC today.
Yeah.
And has all the everything in it for $50. Has all of the everything DLC wise, and will also include a Half-Life Gordon Freeman skin for Noctis. Damn. Not for Noctis. It'll have the Half-Life skins armor stuff, which makes me very happy.
I downloaded the demo and it actually does run on my PC.
It ran pretty good on mine too. I got a fairly high score. I'm like, I kind of want this game.
I might double dip if it goes down in price. All right, Jeff, name another game you think.
Switch needs a fighting game. Because Switch doesn't really have anything right now. They're gonna get. Are they getting cross tag?
They are getting cross tag.
Getting cross tag. Are they getting the Street Fighter collector's edition in May?
They are.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
And then the all female fighting game.
Yep.
Again, that one as well.
SNK Heroines.
Heroines.
I think whatever we see next from the Samurai Showdown King of Fighters style, that will end up on a Switch.
Okay.
But do we see Street Fighter V making its way in some form?
No.
I think
because that's
so.
still a Sony thing. That's still a Sony thing.
Yeah, since Sony
on
funded
PC
that,
obviously as well, but
No, I don't think 5. I mean, because you're getting all the like this anniversary edition in May is out on everything, but 5 is strictly Sony.
Well, look at it this way: if the GTA 5 rumors are to be believed, what's stopping them from Red Dead Redemption 2?
Wow, that's true.
At that point, just make Rockstar games for Switch.
Yeah.
When will we see the Batman Arkham games go onto the Switch? Like Batman Arkham Collection.
I'd be fine with that.
Me too.
At this point, now that Doom's on there, now that Skyrim's on there, like now that Wolfenstein's gonna be on there, like all bets are off. Like Nintendo is no longer a PG-13 console.
That's exactly what I was gonna point to too, as well as the games that are on there now, the games that you listed are not PG-13 games. So I mean, why not have games like we said, Grand Theft Auto or Red Dead or whatever other next game comes out, The Witcher or whatever. I don't know.
You look at just how well Rocket League did on the Switch.
Yeah.
And again, all bets are off. Like,
yeah.
How is that port, by the way?
It's really good. It's not bad. The graphical quality takes a dive from the PS4 and PC versions.
Yes.
But it is still a lot of fun.
So it is a lot of fun. I do like it.
All right. I will say we see Overwatch on the Switch at some point.
Oh.
I was thinking that the only way that I don't see that happening is, will the portability affect the esports community? Like, will that give you an unfair advantage as far as, refresh rate and all that stuff that people look into?
Sure.
Like, and then do they have their own servers? Do they have their own, like, cause for cross-play purposes, do they have their own section of the one corner of the hall to go play Switch Overwatch in? And I don't know.
I
possible.
Say, who cares? Let's just get it on Switch.
I say for my second one, we have a sports game. So we've had basketball. What about Madden?
You think Madden hit Switch? Wow.
I think so.
I mean, heard EA, FIFA 18 did really, really well on the Switch.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously, to an extent, it's not the same exact version, but I think FIFA was a tester. They put FIFA out there, and we've gotten FIFA, and like the WWE most recent game was on the Switch. Granted, that was again not, Jeff's face says it all. But I think Madden. What other sports games do you have on the Switch? You won't get baseball.
That's true.
Well, they
got the Mario
baseball,
Tennis game coming up.
Oh, they do have that. They have the Mario Tennis game. You are right.
Yeah, they have RBI baseball. But what's funny too is that they're now making games that are too big for the actual internal memory. So they say buy SD cards separately or something.
On the box.
So at some point they got to hold back the reins and go, I can't also then buy another SD card to handle this game. So we have to reach a compromise here.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's just when the next revision of Switch comes out in a year or two that says, hey, now with more internal memory.
And all three of us go, fuck!
Or when they come out and say, oh, by the way, now the Switch has cloud activity saves and...
Oh, yeah. I don't think they need to wait for a hardware revision for that. That's just something they need to turn on. That can be included with their $20 a month online service.
I will happily pay that for that service.
That would be awesome. All right, it's time to bring this sucker on home. You've both got some articles that came out. Jeff Roth, you have a look at what was the game we just published?
Sprint Vector. Yes, the Sprint Vector is a virtual reality rollerblading racing game from the company What Brought You Raw Data, which is a kind of a shoot 'em up game. But they went what makes this game great, and you can see in the video of me look like an idiot, it's just the locomotion, the fact that it feels so smooth to sit there and just race, and the feeling of speed is fantastic, and you'll work parts of your body you forgot you had, and it's a lot of fun. The multiplayer is actually great. I had maybe a couple instances where the servers dropped, but I had like full rounds, and I got into matches pretty fast, so people are playing it. And it's the simple things of just interacting with people around you, because they join your lobby and like in their virtual form, you high five them and you say hi to them and you go running around. It's like the game's fucking cool, guys. It's $30 and it's I'll get a review up for it. But if you want to see me playing the game, which I'm going to probably do more of that for Nerd Bacon, is put up little gameplay videos of it. It's just people of me and you guys just playing the game, so you guys can see what the game's all about before you put your hard-earned money down on it.
Nice.
Right.
We like that.
More content.
And then Level Up Justin, you had part 3, or you've got part 3 of your look at MLB MLB 18, the show. That's going to be dropping tomorrow, actually.
Tomorrow. Yeah. Yep, I believe it's tomorrow morning. It's going to be dropping.
Morning.
Yep.
Talking more about dynamic weather, and then little details like fans in the stands reacting differently to different plays that are happening depending on the situation in the game. So like if it's a line drive in the bottom of the ninth and a close game, they're going to be a little bit more wild than a blowout.
Yeah. This article covers presentation and commentary. So new commentator replacing one of the 3 that were in the game
Mark
prior. Mark DeRosa
Yes!
is now
Former
the new
Cub.
commentator. Yep. He'll be as the new commentator. He does replace Harold Reynolds, unfortunately, but that was not due to any more than just a time commitment and restraint. They just couldn't come to an agreement, and I think it was just better for them. So they had to replace him. And then talking over just not only how their commentary worked this year, because they actually were able to get all 3 guys in the booth together, so it's not pieced together commentary. Good. And then we talked about a lot of the atmosphere and how there's crowd changes and even player changes, just awareness all around. Nice. So you're now you'll see, say if we're playing a game and it's 4-1 and it's in the 6th inning and your pitcher starting to get a little tired and he walks the next batter to load the bases, you might see the catcher kind of give him the whoa, calm down, you're okay, kind of like pat him, like chill and throw him the ball back kind of thing. Or the crowd, like you were mentioning. For example, they talked about how stadiums like Fenway Park and Wrigley, they sell out constantly, but you'll have other stadiums where, I'll just throw 2 teams out there. I'm not picking any. I'm not picking.
I was going to say the Rays, definitely.
But let's just say Diamondbacks and Rockies, for example.
Yeah,
okay, well, let's throw 2 NL West teams out there. So. Let's say they're in rivals. Now, let's say they're both having good seasons out of nowhere, and then it's later in the season. You might see the attendance number be higher than when it was like early in the season. You thought these teams are going to suck, and like there's more of like an attendance logic there. Same thing with the game. So if it's a blowout, you'll see less people in the stands because they'll have dissipated and at home. Versus if it's a tight game and it's the bottom of the ninth or an extras, the crowd might still be there. So, and then reacting. In previous baseball games, if you hit a deep fly ball and you kind of had an idea it might go out, you could see the crowd cheering, like, yeah. You're like, okay, I know it's going out pretty much. And you'll still get those from time to time because obviously not everything is like, oh, I don't know if it's going to go out or not.
If Anthony Rizzo hits that ball, it is gone, okay?
Right. So essentially the reactions are going to happen when the ball either lands or it was for sure going to go out. It's more going to be like a real game. Like, oh my God, it's going to go. And then it goes out and then you react. Or if it's caught at the wall, you might hear them go, oh, and then they react a little differently. So it's a really cool aspect that they put into the game. So I talked a lot about that and some other tidbits. And like you said, that'll drop tomorrow.
Yeah, and it's a really good read. So check it out on the nerdbacon.com. We also just got done wrapping up our month-long celebration of retro gaming, which we call Retroary. So definitely check out some of the reviews that dropped during that time frame. Gentlemen, we are coming up at the end of this podcast. Give me real quickly, what are you playing this week?
I've been streaming some the pre-release, pre-order beta for Warhammer Vermintide 2.
Ooh.
Okay.
It's the Left 4 Dead style sequel to Vermintide 1, obviously. You can check that out on the Jeff Ross stream. I'm really enjoying it. The full game launches Thursday, the 8th. So there's 4 maps, and they revamped the loot system, and it's a gorgeous looking game. Check the Jeff Ross stream or the YouTube channel Jeff Ball Games to see me and fellow Twitch streamers playing that. Tomorrow is the second episode of JFWF Midweek Melee.
Oh, nice.
Yes, so we have, so last week we have our finalists to determine the first ever JFWF Women's Champion. It will be Samus Aran taking on Katana in the finals of that for the Women's Championship.
I can't wait to see that. If you'll have me, I would love to come in and do guest commentary for that.
I was going to ask that exact question. I want a color commentator on this, so we may work on that. We do have a new Twitch champion as well. Had to check in last week to see who won that.
All right, we'll do it.
But we'll see more of that tomorrow. Also, I started a Let's Play Live Batman Arkham Asylum. I'm going to go through the Batman Arkham games. Asylum, City, Origins, and Nights live when I have an hour and a half, 2 hours or so on stream with people in chat, kind of as we play through it again together. So,
What order are you going through? That's the question. What
the
order
way it was released. So we're going to do Asylum, City, Origin, and Night. I know Origin's the worst one, because it wasn't Rocksteady, but still.
Oh, Origins isn't that bad.
All right.
The fourth one was the
Level
worst
up,
one.
Justin. What are you playing real quickly this week?
I've been dabbling in a lot. So I played a little Everybody's Golf. I've been playing Earthbound, actually.
Wow. Now, there's a game I tried playing on stream, but gosh darn it, if that's not a tough game. That is tough.
Yeah, that one is tough. Just kind of started dabbling in some Earthbound, and I know the next game I'm probably gonna. I haven't been streaming really because I focused a lot on the writing stuff, so I got to get back to doing some streams as well. My next one, I think I'm gonna do something similar to what Jeff's doing with Batman, but it's just one singular game. It's gonna be with Crash Bandicoot Warped. It's the only one of the three what was re-released that I have not platinumed. So I'm gonna be streaming that. So check it out so you can see me platinum my third Crash Bandicoot game.
Excellent. And then yours truly, I won't be streaming it at this point, but I am finishing up, finally, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Oh, that's right.
A 1-year journey. I had put the game down like back in October, I think was the last time I had seriously played it. And since it was the Switch's 1-year anniversary on Saturday, I picked it up over the weekend again. I was like, let's get back in because I just have one divine beast that I need to beat. And then I can just really push towards the end game. So I knocked down that last one. It's a lizard. I forget the name of him. But
I was hoping you were saying you were going to beat Mario Odyssey, but okay, so this will also work.
Not
That's
yet.
okay.
Mario
That's okay.
Odyssey will come next.
That's next year.
So it's funny, and Dave mentioned that too. Like Dave had mentioned that he was playing through that, and if you split that game down, you should pick it back up because I know I'm heavily considering it as well. We talked about journaling the chronicles.
That's why I bought that guide so I can get back into it.
Seriously, it is. I forget how good the game is. It's so good. I've never been more happy to spend 80 hours on a game in my life. It's just such a phenomenal.
I'm heavily considering starting it over.
You
really am.
You should.
You really should.
I don't know where I left off.
Like
I don't know
right before church on Sunday, I ended up getting the Master Sword, and it's just
nice.
It's a beautiful cutscene, and it's like you get to that point where the Master Sword is resting, and you remember the iconic poster that came with the Super NES copy of Link to the Past of the Master Sword. It's like that painting come to life. It's just so great. Anyway, that's what I'm playing. Any last words, gentlemen, before we kick this off? We got about 30 seconds left.
Happy 1-year anniversary, guys. We'll plan the big anniversary bash for next week.
All right. Sounds good.
There you go.
Level Up Jay.
Just thank you for following. Thank you for watching. Follow us all on the social medias and come to see us next week.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, everyone, for joining in. This is Dave the Watchman with Bacon.com, joined by Jeff Aroth and Level Up Jay, Level Up Justin, also with Bacon.com. This has been the Level Up Lariat podcast, covering the best in pro wrestling and video gaming each week, Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. Central Time, 7:30 Eastern. Thanks so much for joining us. Check out Bacon.com. Check out Jeff Aroth on Twitter. Check out his Twitch channel. Check out Level Up Justin on Twitter. Give us all the follows. You know what to do. You know how social media works. I don't have to tell you. Thanks, everyone. We will see you next week. Game tasty, everyone. Good night.
Bye.